Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today, thanks to the folks over at Hasbro, I'm going to be checking out some of the offerings from their Ghostbusters toy line. Now, this particular line right here is honestly the one that I was a little bit more interested in when it was revealed, like almost 2 years ago at Toy Fair now, because this is kind of like their new line for kids, I guess. They're more meant for play rather than being the Plasma series that's like the more collector ones, because these are much more like the original Kenner Real Ghostbusters figures. And that's kind of why they appealed to me specifically, because we've got like these fun, big, goofy ghosts with action features. So we got Ghostbusters Stay Puft Marshmallow Man over here. We've got Slimer over here. We've got Egon Spengler. And we've got Muncher. Now, I believe Muncher is from the upcoming film here, the new Ghostbusters film. But you can see the rest of them all have this classic logo on here that says 1984, which is pretty cool. So Stay Puft, Slimer, Egon. Really excited to check them out. But also behind them, you can see we've got the new Ecto-1 playset. Now this, of course, has got artwork on there that's certainly inspired by the new film, because it's got the chair that comes out the side. There's one of the kiddos on there. But I don't know, I'm really excited to pull this out and check it out and even compare it to the original Ecto-1 vehicle, just to see how these measure up. So let's go and dive right in and check them out. All right, let's start by taking a look at the basic figures in this assortment. I've got one of the actual figures in Egon, then I've got 3 of the ghosts. And let me go and bring in the tape measure here. So you can see that the figures are, looks like just a little over 5 inches tall. Probably kind of supposed to be in that 5-inch scale there, but Egon's got that puffy hair on top. So he's a little bit over 5 inches. You can see the ghosts are about 4 inches there, with Stay Puft standing right at the 5-inch mark. So it's like a 5-inch scale toy line, very similar to that of the vintage. Let me start by taking a look at Egon himself. Now, when I first saw these back at Toy Fair, the original Kenner figures is immediately what came to mind. I definitely think that's what Hasbro's trying to do here, is make Kenner-style figures of the way they looked more in the movie. So, you know, instead of Egon having the blonde hair and the blue and pink outfit that he had in the cartoon, he's got the more movie-accurate jumpsuit, he's got the brown hair, but he's still kind of cartoony looking. He's kind of like their own design here. But he's lanky, the proportions in the body feel very much like the Kenner figures. In fact, the quality here feels a lot like the Kenner figures. It's not spot on, but it is very, very similar. The proton packs are separate as well, just like on those vintage Kenner figures, so you can attach them there on the back. You can see it's real thin, and it's all just molded kind of in the same plastic, but you can see it's got like this cable attached to it. Now, it's a little more sturdy on the backpack, but you can see it is like the bendy wire, and then the neutrino wand is also that same kind of bendy material because of how it's all made, but that'll plug into his back there. He can only hold it in his hand like this, so you obviously can't get any two-handed poses out of it, since the only articulation is 5 points. Just a very, very basic run there. But let me go ahead and bring in one of the Kenner figures. This is actually a vintage Kenner Peter Venkman. I know I should be showing Egon, but you know what? Peter was close. I was able to grab him, so deal with it. I really just kind of want to show what the vintage ones look like alongside these new Hasbro ones. So you can see that they are kind of in the same scale. The proportions are a little bit different, but I think there's a lot of similarities there as well. Honestly, I kind of wish that the proton pack were a little bulkier, just a little more gimmicky looking like these old ones. Just, you know, something a little bit more toyetic, but I understand that the what they were going for was a bit more like the films there. I don't know, I think these new versions are kind of fun. So each of these figures also comes with a buddy ghost, which is another great throwback to the vintage Real Ghostbusters toys. However, instead of being like the little translucent ghosts, we've got these little ones with fright features. That's right, they brought back fright features. So each of them has a little push button, I believe, on the back. So this one looks like a little kind of chubby fat man ghost. He's like a little blobby guy, and then when you push the button on his back, oh, it springs open into this crazy looking little critter here. I don't know, I think that's a lot of fun. So these little pack-in ghosts are pretty cool, and it's a nice throwback to the vintage line. So let's go ahead and jump over to some of these other ghosts now. In the Kenner line, the ghosts were my favorite part as a kid, and that's one of the things Kenner did great, is they just ran wild with all kinds of crazy ghosts of their own creation. Now, I believe Muncher is inspired by the new film, but you can see he's like this big, blobby, almost caterpillar-looking guy. I assume he eats everything. His gimmick is he's got these two little buttons on his back. He's got like this clear, soft stomach, and when you press the buttons on his back, it presses forward the things that he's eaten, like the stop sign and the fire hydrant. You can do them independently from each other or at the same time. I guess it's supposed to be like he's getting full, bulging his stomach out. But then also when you raise his arms, this little spitball thing kind of comes out of his mouth. I don't know. There's really no other articulation here. This is all you're getting out of him. It's kind of fun, but there's really not a whole lot else to him other than this. So we got this version of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now this is pretty cool. Obviously, very different scale than, the typical one who was as tall as buildings. This is like a human-sized Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He is pretty fun looking. He actually feels nice and hefty, but like the others, he is gimmick heavy. There's really no articulation other than being able to turn the head left and right, because the whole deal here is when you squeeze his legs, his body spins as if his marshmallow is separating. Look at that. And you've got this gooey marshmallow here. Now, here's something interesting. This was labeled as Classic 1984 Stay Puft, but you could see the outline of mini puffs in his body, which is a gimmick of the new movie. So I guess he's both. I guess he's original Stay Puft, but also has ties to the new one. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we will see when the movie comes out. But, he's a nice feeling figure, and the gimmick's kind of fun. And that brings us to Slimer, of course, the sidekick of the Ghostbusters. Oh, well, in the original cartoon, at least. In the movie, he's just kind of there. He's the first guy that they caught. He's always a favorite. I love the very, very bright green of the Slimer. But like the other figures, he is very gimmick heavy. So there's really no articulation here other than his action feature, which you can see the mouth already kind of fell open here. But he's attached to a base that looks like a pool of slime. And there's a little button on his back. When you press that button, he springs up. Actually, if I'm not holding the base, he will actually rise up off the base there as well. His mouth flies open, and then you can lower the lower jaw there, and it actually exposes his spine and everything. Definitely has that Fright features feel to it. So it's a very different kind of Slimer toy than we've ever had before, but if you're into the action features and the old Fright features, honestly, these are pretty fun. So when you pull the Ecto-1 out of the box, as you can see, assembly is required. We actually have quite a few pieces here. There is a sheet of instructions showing you all the pieces, showing you where everything needs to go, and we have a sticker sheet here. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of assembly, and I'm going to put the stickers on, so I'm going to do that right now. Alright, so here is what our Ecto-1 looks like when it is all built. If I bring in the tape measure here, you can see it is about 14 inches in length. You can see that it stands about 5 inches tall if we count like the tallest pieces on the top there. If I bring in that Egon figure, he actually stands next to it, very similar to the way the classic Kenner Ghostbusters stood next to their Ecto-1. Now, it's a pretty cool looking vehicle. It was a very easy build. I will say quality-wise, it is very light and hollow feeling. It's that modern light plastic that we feel on a lot of vehicles these days, and I am not always a fan of that. Just like, I'm sure it's fine and I'm sure it's sturdy for kids playing with it, but I don't know, like comparing it to the Kenner one, it just feels cheap. And I really don't like using the word cheap, but that's the way it feels at times. It's also worth mentioning that the doors do not open on this side. We only have opening doors on the other side. The stickers were okay to put on. There's really nowhere to tell you how to attach these Ghostbuster stickers, so you got to do your best to put them on straight. The worst part was putting these white wall stickers on the tires. Oh, that was absolutely miserable trying to make sure that I got those straight on there. So I had to do a window sticker on the back, of course the license plate sticker as well. So you can see it rolls fine. It is plastic wheels, but it rolls just fine, similar to the vintage one there. So we do have two opening doors on this side. So you can open the front door here, and then this back door actually has the seat attached to it, like we saw in the box. You can fold this back all the way, so we got the seat that comes out to the side. Then you've got this extra little proton or a neutrino wand, I guess, that it can attach to the seat. It's worth noting you can't leave it attached and then close it. You actually have to assemble it after it opens. I think that's kind of a bummer that you can't just fling it open and just have it there. But you can see there's a proton pack strapped to the back of it. It's all just part of the plastic there, so it's solid color. This is not a rocket firing missile. It's just like a push missile. But there you go. You can kind of push that. Here comes Slimer. Okay, got him. So there you go. Let me go ahead. Actually, let me show you guys. So you can take your Egon figure, and there's actually a little notch right on the back of that seat that is fitted for his proton pack, so it should work with any of your figures there. And look at that, it actually attaches to the chair, so that is pretty cool. So we can put him on the inside there like that, like he's riding backwards, and then you can fling the door open with him sitting there. You just then have to attach his little proton wand, and boom, he's ready to go. Now, also, you can put him across or put anybody else across over to the other side if they're going to be the driver. It's a bit tricky to do it. Also, Egon's hair is so tall that he is hitting the roof over there. There we go. So got him in there. But as you can see, there's really no like real steering wheel or anything like that. No real details on the inside there. So there's 2 seats. I guess you got some open space in the back where you can cram some people as well if you want to do it. And then the only other action feature is with the back door here. So if we pull the back door open, boom, you see that? The little ghost trap comes rolling out of the back. That's a pretty fun little feature. You could easily just put it right back up on the top. You close it up, open it up, boom, it comes sliding on out to capture some ghosts. So I absolutely have to do this comparison time. Now, this is actually the Hasbro reissue of the Kenner Ecto-1, but it was a really nice reissue. It is very, very similar, if not identical, to the vintage piece. And when you look at them side by side, you can actually see the differences here. But what I'm really going to tell you is that you can feel the differences, because the plastic that is used for this reissue Kenner one is much nicer feeling, and the overall vehicle is so heavy in comparison. I mean, it just feels so solid. It's got a lot of weight to it, and this one is so lightweight. Like, these both came from Hasbro, so I really wish that they could have incorporated the same type of plastic they used for this Kenner reissue into this new one, and I honestly think it would have made the new one a lot nicer. Nitpicks aside with the plastic quality and everything like that, I do still think that this is a fun line of Ghostbusters toys. I like that they're homaging the Kenner line. I just wish they would have took it a little bit to the next level and really mimicked the Kenner feel of their action figures and especially their vehicle. And I really think we would have had something special here, like modern Kenner action figures, because I've always loved the Real Ghostbusters line. I've always wanted to actually see that expanded upon and continued. And these are really close to doing that. Really, really close. Now, I do also want to commend Hasbro for doing a line that is for the kids as well. With the new movie coming out, hopefully we're going to be getting new fans of the franchise, and they absolutely need some toys like this to play with. I just hope that Hasbro is going to be putting out more of like the funky ghosts, because the ghosts are the fun part, and I would love to see all kinds of wacky designs with those ghosts so that the kids have some fun fiends to do some busting on. So there you guys go. There is a look at some of the brand new figures in Hasbro's Ghostbusters toy line. Again, I got to give a very special thanks to Hasbro, who did send these over as part of a press kit so that I could take a look at them here on video. These are hitting store shelves right now, so happy hunting, my friends.